Okay. Am I live? I am live. Just double checking everything's going okay. I might need you, Jacob, to give me a bit of insights on whether or not this is working. I did the usual mistake of waiting a slightly bit too late before checking that everything was correct, and um, I actually realized that I was on a different computer from before, which doesn't have two screens. And yeah, that just made things a bit more stressful to set it all up, but I think I'm good now. Just checking in. Okay, perfect. Sounds good, according to Jacob. So here we go. Okay, so obviously last week I wasn't there. Jacob took over for me into building this new chatbot that we're building together. We're in the midst of creating a customer service. No, sorry, a lead generation chatbot, and what we've taken here is the approach of creating a pretend marketing agency that's trying to generate leads for their various services. And so, just to recap a little bit what we've done. So this is the Yellow Dog Marketing Agency. Again, completely made up. If you are from a company that's called Yellow Dog, obviously come and say hi. But this wasn't on purpose. Um, so we currently have obviously three services at our pretend marketing agency. We do PPC, we do web design, and we do SEO. And so the first thing we kind of did was obviously design the bot and all of that. So we'll look at that in a minute. But we've created three FAQs that the bot is capable of answering. So if we go and ask to this bot about, what are your PVC services, we're going to get some answers about this. So that was kind of phase one. Phase two, we started creating some conversations using the conversation builder. So we created obviously three initial conversations, which you can see here. SEO, PPC, and web design. And because this is a lead gen chatbot that we're building, what we really want to get into is obviously creating um, lead gen conversations. So a chatbot can be used for kind of two main things, I would say. And obviously, this is a very reductive way of putting it, but it is still quite valid. Is a chatbot can either be used to answer loads and loads of questions really quickly, so one-to-one questions, what we call FAQs. So, what time do you open? What are your services? What's your price? What's blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. But then the second kind of 50% of this, of a chatbot's utility is onboarding users into specific processes, and these processes are obviously turned into a conversational process. But these processes kind of start from point A all the way to point whatever letter you like, and they take the user through a journey of asking several questions, which at the end will result in kind of one action. And this action, final action, can be anything. So this final action could be, submitting your water meter readings, for instance, or this final action could be purchasing a car, or this final action could be submitting an inquiry about a specific service that the chatbot I'm talking to it can actually tell me about. And so obviously we're creating again lead gen chatbot, and so we're putting the water meter apart and buying a car apart, and all of that is to decide what we want these conversations to be. Is we want these conversations to not only give information to the user, so this is what our SEO services do, or this is what our web design services do. Would you like to speak to an expert about it? And so throughout this process, the chatbot will ask for the user's information, such as, this is the one I personally created. So this one will be, asking what's your name, obviously to create a lead, important, but then some more information about the specific process, the specific services thereafter. And so here, like what industry are you in, or what's your budget for this, or which keyword are you really looking for? What's your email address so that we can go and reach out to you later on? What's your phone number so we can go out and reach out to you? And then we'll bundle all of this information into one piece of data, or into multiple pieces of data. And then we do several things out of there. We either create a lead into some sort of CRM for our sales team to go and talk to, or we send this lead information in an email bundled up to a salesperson as well. So all of this is obviously possible. So this kind of to recap what we've done so far. So I've created this conversation. I think we can have a little look at it. So if we do, what what are your SEO services? Let's see if that works. We haven't done a session on training yet, and that's going to come up later on. So, okay, so I've created this bot and I can say, you know, what are your SEO services? Imagining I'm landing on this website and this is the bot that pops up. And I just want to know about it. And so the bot can say, our SEO services include a full page, a full website audit, up to 20,000 pages, and will produce an actionable 18-page long document about it. So that's this kind of one-to-one, quick, snappy FAQ answers. Sorry, that's my dog. But then the other thing I can do is I have added a button here that allows me to make an inquiry. And so the user can say, okay, wow, 20,000 pages, perfect. My website is just below that. I do need an 18-page document here. I'm going to talk to an expert about it. And so I can click, you know, make an inquiry. And so now we enter into this process, A to XYZ. And let's just go through it. So my name is Alex. Great, nice to meet you, Alex. So it does a bit of recall here. To kickstart your SEO requirement, I'd like to know about your business. Which industry are you in? I'm going to say cameras. Okay, you're in the cameras business. Okay. What sort of monthly budget are you working with? So I have over £10,000 of budget. Perfect. By which keyword would I like to rank for? By cameras UK. Great, we've got all of the requirements. Now I need an email address. I'm just going to give an email address. Okay, my phone number is blah, blah, blah. Okay, got your phone number. And they're just asking me if I'd like to pick a date and time for us to have a little chat with, for me to have a little chat with one of their team. And so I can just pick this, and we set up a nice date picker in last session, or 2 sessions ago, sorry. So you can go back and have a look at that. And I'm going to do 1 o'clock in the afternoon and send that across. So we went through all of this, building this entire thing 2 weeks ago. So if you want to see how we built all of that, just go back. It's going to be a good session. Last week, Jacob did a few things. He did a few things right. He did a few things wrong, and he got told off for that. I'm just kidding. He did everything perfectly. He did a PPC conversation, which is kind of similar to what I did. But we're just kind of fluffing up this bot. So we obviously started with these 3 FAQs, but now we need to go and actually generate leads, and this is what that's what we're trying to do. So he went and he built this conversation that was last week, so you can go and have a look at that. Importantly, a couple of bits important. He reused some of the variables we used before, so that's really good. We can use that. He reused some of the same format of message types, which is really important. So you want to keep consistency across your different experiences, even if someone else is building it. He created new variables, so PPC budget, for instance, is a brand new. And then he did something I didn't do, which is branching. And that's quite interesting. So he branched out based on what kind of ads you'd like to do, Facebook ads or Google ads. And then based on this kind of Google ads, he did another branching, which is basically taking the user out of this specific conversation if the user is working with the charity, because we know that charities can get kind of discounts and all sorts of different approaches to the things they do. And so if you click here, yes, we're a charity, you basically go into a very different flow, which is really cool. And so he also set up live chat, and he set up email addresses, etc., etc. So all of that is good to go. Cool. So this is kind of the recap. What I want to go through today is I want to go through setting up some channels. The ubisend platform is kind of an interesting, unique chatbot platform, because we do try and provide as many channels as possible. And so in this instance, what I want to do is I want to try and set up 2 channels, 2 additional channels. So currently what we have is this website widget. So this little widget can be placed anywhere on the website. So if I go into channels and I go into channel settings, you can see that we have a bunch of, 7 here channels available. We have another about 30 here below that I can activate. But for now, what I want to focus on is 3 channels. We have the converse widget, which is basically this little widget that you see on websites everywhere. This is specifically the one we designed. This is completely built, designed by ubisend, and it's really beautiful. It's really pretty. I can have full control over that. And as you've seen earlier, if I go in the demo section, this is the widget that we use within the demo section. So we've already designed that. So that's nice and good to go. And what I can do is, if I were to set this up on my, yellowdogmarketing.co.uk website, I could take this little script tag and I would put it into the body tag of my website, and that'd just be basically good to go. So that's all nice. That's live, and that's all nice and live. So that's perfect. What I want to do today is I want to set up two additional channels. The first that I want to set up is the full page bot. We'll look at how to do that. We'll look at kind of the key differences between the two, between the Converse and the full page bot, and how you can actually adapt your interactions to fit that. And then I want to set up Telegram, because Telegram is, interestingly, because I don't really ever use Telegram on a personal, in my personal life, but it has become a kind of a user favorite here at ubisend. So I just want to show how to set that up. So let's go through this. So there's a couple of ways of going through this. We can go straight through here. So we have the full page bot here, or I can just go into the side nav here and go to full page. Okay, so we have obviously a preview here of the full page bot, and as you can see, it's completely purple, which doesn't really suit what we want to do with this bot. As you've seen before, the Converse widget has this yellow coloring, which we set up on session 1. So if you want to go and have a look at that, feel free to do that. And so I think we kind of made up this this coloring, black and yellow. We just kind of looks nice. I mean, I just didn't spend too much time on that. But what I can do is I can go into the color settings here in the bot and just start playing around with that. And so what I've done here is I've taken the hex code for that yellow coloring, that yellow color, and just tagged that in here. Now, obviously, the second gradient color is still this kind of purple, which makes it this really, really ugly. And if I add this kind of, the same color, then we're obviously having a completely flat full page bot, which doesn't look very nice. It's just going to destroy my eyes if I look at that. So what I can do is I can play around with this a little bit. This doesn't look super cool. I can just do this maybe. This looks all right, I guess. It's a bit sad, but I think it's all right. So what I can do here is, once it's ready, once my bot is ready, and I want to publish it on the website, what I can do is copy this entire thing here, which, for those of you who know, this is an HTML. This is an HTML file, and so as you can see, it has, it opens the HTML and it closes the HTML, which means that I can literally just put this into a file, a page called, chatbot.html, push that to my website, and it's going to be completely live straight away. So that's really helpful for people when they actually try to set it up. But for now, for us, what we want to do is just grab this little link here, and if I use this link, I can just dump that into the browser, and this allows me to see the bot in full page in its entire glory straight away. And so here I haven't pushed these changes, so I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to refresh this and see what happens. Okay, it's definitely a bit sad, isn't it? I think it's just kind of, yeah. I'll see if I can do like a better yellow or something. I don't know. Can I do this one? Ooh, oh no, that's the same yellow. Okay. So I did this, didn't I? What can I do? Oof, that's super ugly. I love that. I was discussing this build with Jacob beforehand, and I said what I was planning on doing for this episode today. And like I told you before, I don't prepare too much on purpose, so that I want to do this live with you, so it doesn't come off as just scripted. And he was telling me that I'm going to struggle with the colors. And he kind of said you should research the color you're going to use because it's just going to look ugly. And I was like, eh. But turns out that we could actually have done that because this looks actually quite ugly. Obviously, the point I'm trying to make here is that you can actually create the colors that you need. So trust me, we've seen some pretty ugly things in our days. So you're not really going to offend us, and quite frankly, this isn't too bad. So I'm just going to leave it as that for now, just because I don't want to spend 15 minutes on finding a color. But just so you know, you can obviously use your own hex code here. So it doesn't have to be one of these 20 or so colors here that we provide. It can be anything you'd like. And then obviously, if you bring a designer to this, they'll know, exactly, okay, this is where the split is, this is where there's this gradient happening, so they'll figure out what to do with it. And then I could show the logo. Do I want to show the logo? I'm not sure. Let's have a play with it. Okay, so my logo here is very transparent, which is not super helpful. So I'm going to refresh this. Yeah, so my logo is way too transparent. So again, I'm not gonna mess around with this too much. You get the point. You can put a big old logo here with transparent or reversed out logo, for instance, which would look really pretty. And yeah, I wonder if I can actually show you on the ubisend website. If you go and click get a demo, you actually have our full page bot here. And as you can see, this is how we've set it up. So we have the big ubisend logo here in the top left. So you could set this up as well here, but I'm not just going to go around and design a logo just for this. Okay, cool. So the design, although it's ugly, it's set up, it's here. We're kind of happy here. So what I want to do now is kind of a best practice I would recommend anyway, but it is to make sure that everything I've built within the Converse widget, so the little chat widget, also works on my full page bot. Now, feature-wise, pretty much everything is going to work because obviously the Converse widget here is designed by us. The full page bot is designed by us as well, and so therefore, basically every single message type that we've set up, or every single images, etc., all of that works across both channels, which is not necessarily the case when we integrate external channels, which we'll look at when we look at the full page bot. But it's still interesting to have a look at how things actually look in the full page bot, because we've built this entire thing looking at the Converse widget for the entire time. And so what we wanted to test is just go through a couple of the questions. So, okay, I just landed on the bot. Welcome to our chatbot. Step 1 to 2. So I can just go to the next step. I can help you find information about our SEO, PPC, and web design services. Perfect. So let's have a quick look at the questions we can ask. Okay, what are your PPC services? A bit of water. Okay, our PPC services include the creation of your campaign, landing page design, and optimization. Perfect. What are your SEO services? Our SEO services include a full website audit, up to 20,000 pages, and the production of an actionable 18-page document. Okay, perfect. What are your web dev services? I don't know if this is one of them. Web design services include blah, 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 blah. Okay, so all of that works nicely. One of the things you'll notice with the full page bot is we don't have a chat history like we would in the Converse. You have this kind of one-to-one conversation with the bot, and every time your message kind of disappears. So just for kind of your knowledge, this is all actually available here in the history. So in the history, you can see everything that you've actually typed, and you can basically go back to this specific message, which is actually quite helpful. And you can also search this. So if I search for PPC, it's just going to filter out PPC. And then finally, I can also reset like we've done before. I can have a look at alerts. Nothing to show here. Okay, so I'm just going to do what are your SEO services again, and then we'll go through the conversation, the full conversation, just to see kind of how that looks. Okay, so I'm putting the inquiry, and we've done this earlier on the Converse widget. We just want to see if this is all working properly in the full page as well. So I can put you in touch with one of the experts. I need a few details. What is your name? Let's go, Alex. Nice to meet you. To kickstart your SEO requirement, which industry are you in? I'm in health. Okay, you're in the health. Definitely missed out a word here. And actually, I'm just going to go and edit that straight away just to show you how easy it is to do. So if I go into the conversation builder, fire up this integration, this conversation, and I can just go here and just say you are in the industry. So So we're using a little variable here to bring back, to save whatever the user is answering. We're saving it into this variable, and then we reuse that variable to basically bring it back into the conversation. Again, we've seen all of this in session 3 or 2. So just go back and have a look at that. Okay, so now this is saved for next time we do it. What sort of monthly budget are you working with? So we have these buttons, they work perfectly, so we can just do that. Over £10,000. Which keyword we'd like to rank for? Bodybuilding. Got everything in. Let's capture what we need to have a nice chat. Cool. What is your email address? Oops. Best phone number. And finally, date and time. Little date picker again. Translates really well with the full page bot as well. So I can just say the 16th at 12 p.m. whatever. Send that. Cool. Got everything I need. Someone's going to be in touch very soon, and that's the end. Okay, so we went through the entire conversation, and as you can see, this works perfectly. So we're really happy with this. One of the things we're going to do in a future session is we're going to set up some FAQs with maybe nice images and things like that, and so we can see actually how these messages will translate into the full page bot as well, just because that's always quite kind of important. Okay, so this is all perfect. So what I want to do now is I want to go through the channel settings. I'm happy with the full page bot, so I can just activate this, and now the channel is working. I can go and talk to it. Perfect. The next thing I want to do, like I said, is I want to set up Telegram. Telegram is, for those of you who don't know, I think it's the 8th biggest messaging channel in the world. They have something like 200 million or 200 million monthly active users, I think. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, they're very big. They're big, but primarily in, I think they're really big in India and really big in Africa. They're getting a bit bigger in Europe. I know a few people who use it. But either way, it's a big channel, and it's a channel that's been growing quite steadily for the last 4 or 5 years. And interestingly enough, it's a channel that's relatively easy to integrate with, and so you can build your chatbots on it in kind of a simple way. And so if I go into Telegram here, I can go again with this option button, or I can just go here on the left and just pick Telegram. So as you can see, to integrate to create your Telegram chatbot or link Telegram to your account, you need to basically find this auth token. So it looks a bit complex, but if we look at the documentation, it's actually super simple. So if I go to docs.ubisend.com, so this might be the first time that you see this, but the docs is where obviously we release all of the information about the platform, about the different things that you can do with it, how everything works. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. There's a lot of information here. And so as a platform user, as a user of the ubisend platform, I strongly suggest you kind of bookmark this link and explore this, because there's loads of information. So it goes from everything that we discuss, basically everything that we discuss in these drop-in sessions, it's all in here. So building conversations, integrating channels, integrating third-party software, creating CTAs, using the live chat and the knowledge base and all that sort of stuff. All of that is in here. So what I want to go through is I want to go and have a look at Telegram, how to set up Telegram. So just as a refresher, because Telegram is there, we want to make sure that we have all of the information here. And so to connect to your Telegram chatbot, all you need to do is talk to someone, talk to a bot on Telegram called the Botfather. Botfather is run by Telegram, and it basically helps you set up a bot. You have to talk to that to basically get your authentication token, which is what we're looking for here. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. So step 1, go and talk to the Botfather. Step 2, connect your chatbot to Telegram. Okay, so let's just go through this. So I'm going to open, I'm going to quickly, sorry about this. Oops. I'm just going to quickly do Telegram, just in case I have some private conversations in here. Just want to make sure that we don't have anything. Archive this. Oops, don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's turn this back on. All right. So I'm going to clear the history here, just so that it's a bit clearer when we start. Okay, so the bot father is, like I said, it's a bot that's existing on Telegram. It's something that these people have built themselves. And if you don't know how to find it, you can just click this link. You need to have Telegram set up on your desktop, which is what I have here. If you don't have it on your desktop, it's just basically going to link you to this page, and it's not really going to work. So you need to have it set up. You need to have downloaded the app on your desktop, unfortunately. Okay, so let's open this. So obviously the bot father is the one bot to rule them all. Use it to create new bot accounts and manage your existing bots. So what I can do is I can hit start. Yep, so I need to hit start. Perfect. Okay, so it throws me quite a bit of information, and not all of this is super helpful, but we'll go through it. So I can help you in creating managed Telegram bots. It uses an API, so we're good with that. And you can do slash my new bot to create a new bot, and then you have all sorts of settings, commands and settings that you can do. So you can set, you can delete a bot if you have one already. You can change the privacy settings. You can change your tokens, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to follow the instructions here. So read the instructions to understand everything perfect, and then send slash new bot. So let's do that. Okay, a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a name for your bot. So I'm going to call this yellow dog marketing. Can I do that? Good. Now let's choose a username for your bot. So the bot's name is what's going to be displayed here. I think we'll double check that, and then the username is the actual kind of command in the backend that the bot is named. And so you can do that in one word. It needs to end in bot, so that's always interesting. So we'll do yellow dog bot. Okay, so luckily, I was just about to say, because this platform is actually quite popular, you frequently try and think of a bot like customer service bot, and then obviously someone has already taken that. It's a bit like a domain name. Once it's been taken once, you can't obviously reuse it. But I got lucky. I have yellow dog bot available. Cool, done. Congratulations on your new bot. You will find it at yellow dog bot. Blah blah blah. You can now add the description, about section, profile picture, etc., etc. So this is cool. Now, the interesting part of this is we need the Telegram auth token. This is what we need to put into this platform, into our platform. And this is what the bot file has just given us. So use this token to access the HTTP API, and this big long string of random things. And so yeah, to copy the token generated, go to channel settings, find Telegram, and click options, and then paste your new Telegram spot token in here. So I can save that. Success. So we received a success notification in the top right there, which tells us that now our bot is connected. You have successfully connected to Telegram. If you would like to update your connection, please remove your existing connection first. So that means that we can basically set this up on, which is actually quite cool with Telegram, is we could set this up on a completely random bot. So I could just call it like random bot, something like that, and I could just have tested, and then when I'm ready, I can revoke this connection, delete that bot via Telegram, and I can just create the real one and connect it at that point. So this is really important. That allows you to test loads of stuff. Okay, so we're connected. Perfect. I can go back to the channel settings. I can go and activate this Telegram channel, and now I can go and talk to it. Telegram bot. Okay, so I've just set it up. So what we notice with Telegram is every now and then when you just set up a bot, you might have a bit of delay when it first sets up. So I got lucky here, and it just instantly triggered, which is really cool. But it's something worth knowing that if you set up your first bot on Telegram, every now and then it might be a bit slow at the start. So just be patient. It might take like a minute to kind of trigger. But I got lucky here. It triggered automatically. Welcome to our chatbot. I can help you find information about our SEO and chat, PPC and web design services. So as you can see, I've just literally in 7 minutes, and this is obviously with me explaining a lot of it. I managed to create a chatbot on full page and a bot on Telegram. So now I have these 3 channels activated, which is really helpful. It's really cool. I can connect with my customers wherever they are. I think we're going to leave it to these 3 channels for now. What I want to do next is I want to do a bit of testing with Telegram just to make sure that everything's working properly. One of the things that's important with various channels is what I touched on earlier, which is not every channel has all of the message types that all of the other channels might have. And so if we go in the documentation and we just find this message types. So this particular doc basically lists all of the message types that we have available within the platform. So you can see them here on the right, standard, quick reply, etc., all the way down to event messages. And then obviously all of these have been built by us. They are message types that we know are helpful, beautiful, easy to use. But by default, they obviously all work with our channels, but they might not always work with external channels like Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Cisco, whatever, Slack, because we're bound to actually the message types that these platforms allow us to use. And so some channels, for instance, might not have a carousel message type. For instance, Telegram doesn't. And so it's important to know this, because if you're creating a full bot here in your platform, and you make it beautiful with loads of carousels and animations and all that sort of stuff, and then you say, okay, now I'm going to put it on Telegram and it's going to be beautiful, then you're going to have a bad surprise. And so one of the things that I would recommend doing before actually setting up all of your conversations is what I did at the start of this series, is map out exactly which channels you're going to need, because that's going to actually strongly influence how you're going to build the bot. And so importantly, on this page, overview of the message types, we don't just have the message types and how they look and stuff, which is really nice. We also have the compatibility and fallback across messaging channels. And so this is really important, because this is what teaches you, exactly what's going to happen if you have X message type that we don't necessarily have available in another channel. And so what we want to have a look at is, all right, as you can see, we have the message type listed, and then it shows you what happens to this message type. Is it compatible or not with every channel? And so what we want to quickly look at is spot the Telegram row in this table, and just quickly go through all of the message types to kind of see, okay, will this work? Luckily, I think so far what we've used, almost everything that we've used will work with Telegram, but we might have to do some adaptation. So let's have a look. Standard messages. Standard messages are obviously just a simple piece of text, and that is completely fine. It's compatible. Quick reply messages. Those are the ones with the little bubbles. We've used these messages for the budgets, so that's important to know. Is this going to be compatible? Yes, that's compatible. Perfect. Action messages. It's compatible. There's just some postbacks that won't trigger. Messages containing a file won't send. So we haven't used any of that, but overall they're compatible, so that's good. General messages, same thing, compatible, but some messages won't send if they contain a file, so that's interesting. Telegram, incompatible with carousel messages. So carousel messages are, they look like this. They have multiple kind of tiles that you can swipe through. They look really pretty, but unfortunately, Telegram doesn't have a carousel message type, and so we can't send those messages. So only the carousel's images will be sent, which is obviously not helpful. And so if you knew that you had to create this bot for Telegram, make sure that you don't create any carousels for this. Image messages, compatible, perfect. Video messages, what happens here? Incompatible, there's no fallback either, so it's just not going to send any message. Important to know this. Content messages, incompatible. We're not using any of this at the moment. Embedded messages, incompatible. Progress messages, incompatible. Payment message, incompatible. And finally, event messages, incompatible. So what this tells us is obviously we need to adapt our conversation. We need to make sure that all of these things that we've built are actually working properly within Telegram. And obviously one of the best way to do this is to find this doc, this piece of doc, and read through it before you actually start building. But then also, obviously, you want to test it. And so let's just go and test this bot, make sure that everything that we've built is good. So we know that we haven't really used anything that shouldn't be working. So let's just send a message and see what happens. Our PPC services include the creation of campaign, etc., etc. So this is I want to say an action message. So we could click on this, which should trigger the conversation we've already gone through together. So I can put you in touch with a member of your team. What is your name? Oh, no, this is the PPC one. This is the one that Jacob built. Okay, what is your monthly budget? So this is interesting. So what happened here? So this is the PPC question, which had an action message, as you can see, with a big button. And this is this one here. But then in the first answer, the first question here, what is your budget? This is the PPC conversation that Jacob built. And I think, if I remember correctly, yes, so he used a quick reply message type. But interestingly, actually, quick replies look kind of the same on Telegram as the action messages. And so, yeah, it just kind of looks the same. It's still valuable and it's still valid and it works perfectly fine. It's just interesting to note. So, okay, I'm going to send this. Are you interested in Facebook ads, I think? Great stuff. We've got years of experience with Facebook ads. What industry are you in? I'm going to do healthcare again because I can't think. Do you want to have a nice quick chat with a team member? Don't worry if you don't want to. I don't want to. I'm happy just chatting here. Leave an email address and we'll get back to you shortly. Okay. Thanks. One of our team is going to be in touch shortly. Okay. So as you can see, everything worked perfectly fine. I got through this entire conversation on Telegram. I didn't have to do any modifications. Sorry, I don't know why Telegram does that. I didn't have to do any modifications to my conversation. In literally a couple of clicks, I managed to completely translate the existing chatbot that was already working on my Converse widget and already working on my full page bot and completely translate it into Telegram without having to change anything. Now, an interesting part of this whole thing here is, I think if I go through the, just to kind of show you what it would look like if something doesn't work. So this is the SEO conversation we did. So I'm just going to use this little keyword to trigger it. So my name's Alex. Industry, I'm in the stuff industry. So as you can see, my copy has been taken in here. We did a quick tweak earlier and that worked. So I'm going to do, which keyword would I like? Stuff and co. Great, I've got all of your requirements. Let's capture what you need to have a little chat. What is your email address? Best phone number to reach you. Now, this is the interesting part. So in the bot we looked at earlier, even in the full page bot, we had this really nice date picker that popped up when we got to this step, which was really, really helpful. But unfortunately, there is no such thing in Telegram. And so what we fall back to by default as ubisend is we fall back to just an input message. So you can just enter a date here. So I could just say 08/05/2021. Cool, everything I need, someone will be in touch. But that's interesting because it means that the beautiful interactions that you just designed within the ubisend platform for your Converse widget or your full page chatbot is not going to work precisely the same way that you might expect it on Telegram. But importantly, on top of that, we try to really fall back to things that will work. And so in here, the only fallback we have, unfortunately, is just to let the user type in something. But it is important to know that because it means that if you are relying on this date, for instance, to be in a very specific format for your CRM or something like that, you will have to change slightly your conversation copy maybe that says, is there a date you'd like to our team to use? I can't read. Is there a date and time that you would prefer our team users to call you? You might have to change that sentence to say, please enter it in the following format or something like that, so that your users know exactly what they need to do. But this is the kind of stuff that you need to, yeah, that it requires knowing the platform, it requires knowing the channels that you're going to use, and knowing kind of compatibility across all of them. So this is it really. We've managed to build quite a few things here. So I think what we're going to end with is one of two things. So what I could do is I could create a few more FAQs, which I think could be helpful, because we do need to fluff those up a little bit. I Yeah, they're nice, but it's not enough, is it? If I have a design agency or a marketing agency, I probably want to be able to add a few more questions, and not all of which will create leads, but all of which will be, helpful for my team, uh, for my chatbot users, my website visitors, or my Telegram users. So I can do that. The other thing I could do is I could set up some emails or create a new conversation. There's three things we could do. I think we're gonna use this time to do a bit of FAQ building, just because it's always important to have loads of them. Well, not loads, but for the purpose of this demo, I kind of get to like 10. And so obviously we've gone through this process in session one, I think. But just to recap a little bit, creating FAQs, super simple. All you need to do is add FAQ here in the top right, come up with a name for your FAQ. So what are we going to talk about? Marketing agency, London. Just going to try and find a marketing agency here. Abacus Marketing. Okay, so they have a similar color scheme as ours, so that's interesting. I just want to know kind of what they have as far as content here, just to give us a bit of inspiration. So obviously they have what we do, so that's fine. We've kind of done that. How can we help? I think interesting things that you can do, and you will want to have that kind of stuff, particularly as an agency, but even if you're not an agency, as a general bot, is some sort of contact details. So you want to do like contact details. I'm going to create a new tag called contact, and I'm just going to say, how can I contact you? How can I reach you? What is your phone number? So obviously we want to create a lead gen bot here. So we want this bot to generate interest into our services. And so one of the things that people will see is they'll land on your website, and obviously not throwing shade to Abacus London here, but they will land here, and the average person might look at all of this and think, I have no idea what I actually need. I need to speak to someone. And they've actually done obviously a really good job at having their contact details here at the top. But if you had this as a bot and someone just said, what's your phone number, or how do I reach you? That's what you'd want here. So what can I do? I can say, you can reach us using the following. This is too long. You can call us at 123, or email us at at yellowdogmarketing.co.uk. Okay, so I can do this. So that's a new FAQ. We just created a brand new FAQ. This is going to be helpful very quickly for our users, our chatbot users, to be able to find us. What else can we do? We can find something around portfolios. So marketing agencies usually have, a lot of work that they've done. Show the portfolio. They usually have done a lot of work, and so what they want to be able to do is, display, what they've done, and just show that they're really good in this industry. So, do you have a portfolio I can look at? Can you send me your portfolio? Where can I see your portfolio? Okay, and now with portfolios, what you could do here is you could do a few things that will make it really pretty. So we could use a carousel here. Carousels are great. They're really, really user friendly. So what I could do is I'm going to go on Google. I just literally Googled for Google. So I'm going to just pick up a couple of brands images. Again, this is completely made up. So I went on maps. This is completely made up. So I'm just going to say, Coca-Cola. All right. Let's take this image or this image. Perfect. And then we're going to do, what's a good brand? Michelin. So this is a big brand. Can use that. And we can use, let's say we've done some work for, I don't know why I'm struggling with finding the brand name, Caterpillar. Perfect. So we designed some kind of website for this. Okay, so what I can do is I can basically, instead of just linking to my portfolio on the website, and obviously we'll still do that, I can actually also send like details about it straight away from here, which is really cool. So I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Okay, so we're quickly uploading these images, and so we can do, the first one would be this caterpillar. So we're going to send that to http://yellowdogmarketing.co.uk. I don't think this is actually even a. Okay, perfect. Whew, I got scared there. This isn't a real company, obviously. I'll work with Caterpillar. We helped Caterpillar redesign their entire website journey and generate an additional £2.5 million in revenue. Perfect. And then I can send a URL here as well. So I can just say, all right, read this case study, for instance, and a link here. And so this is what it would end up looking like. And I can save that later on. I need to add more, but I can really create this kind of portfolio experience right inside the bot, which is really cool. So I can go to the next one here, and I can just do, let's do the Coca-Cola one now. Here it is. So what do we have here? We have this. What did I call this? Our work with Coca-Cola. We helped Coca-Cola design target new verticals by setting up an optimized PPC campaign in Asia and South Africa, something like that. Add a URL. What did I call the other one? Read this case study website. Okay, and now we can add a third one just for fun. So we'll do the Michelin. This work with Michelin. I shouldn't have taken Michelin because I don't actually know what they do. I think they just do cars, don't they? Tires. Yeah, that's right. So there's only one L in Michelin. We helped Michelin grow their brand awareness in the UK with a optimized SEO campaign. This is terrible because the O in SEO is optimized as well. So this just reads terribly, but it doesn't matter. Read the case study. Read this case study. Okay, and now we can save this. And now we have a really pretty interaction here. We have a really nice looking FAQ. If we go and have a look here in the bot, and say this. Beautiful. So as a user, I can say, all right, what's your portfolio like? And then I can receive a few examples. I think you can get up to 10 cards like this, which might be a bit too much if you actually put 10, but it's quite cool to see this. And so, yeah, this looks really nice. It's more information that I can give to my users. What I could do as well is add a second button under reading this case study and just say like, talk to the team that made it happen or something like that. Boom, generating more leads again, because here we have very clearly, I mean, it was kind of by design in my head, but we have very clearly a case study about web development or web design, sorry. We have a case study about PPC and a case study about SEO. So we can really use these three case studies as buttons that kind of say, well, you know, go and talk to us about this. And so I'm going to actually do that. So I'm going to have a quick look at the triggers for these services. So we have SEO services, PPC services, and then web design services. So I can go and do that. And again, Jacob did this last week for the other one. So this is kind of a refresher, but it's interesting to do. So we could say, you know, add a post back. Which one is this? Web design services. And so we can say, you know, talk to the team that made it happen, or talk to our experts, or something like that. And then we can go to the next one. And this one is all about, what is it? It's all about PPC. So I can do PPC services. And again, these kind of little buttons, will, when clicked, will trigger this conversation, which will generate leads. And so that's exactly what we want from this chatbot. We want it to generate as many leads as possible. Talk to our experts, and this one is SEO services. Perfect. So if you go back to the bot, you have a portfolio. Oops, I misspelled portfolio. This isn't correct. Can you send me a portfolio? We haven't done a session on, I can't type, haven't done a session on training the bot either at this stage. So this isn't optimized yet. So let's have a look at what we can actually say. Okay, I'm just going to say this. Okay, so now we've made these changes. Perfect. I can go and talk to the experts. So if I say, you know, wow, cool, they worked with Coca-Cola, this is perfect, this is exactly what I need, I do need to target a new vertical with PPC. All right, I'm going to go and talk to the experts, and boom, I'm instantly put into this conversation about, you know, getting in touch with one of their members. Now, very quickly, what I want to do before we wrap up, there's only about 5 minutes left. I want to quickly go through the channels. So we have the full page bot, which is no, it's not here anymore. So the full page bot is here. Still ugly. We haven't changed anything. So let's go into here. Close these two things. Go back and have a look at the FAQ just to make sure that we can use it. Okay. Do you have a portfolio I can look at? Perfect. So now, as you can see, we have this kind of new interaction here with the full page bot that sends us the exact information that we need here, as you can see. And that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. So the buttons here on the left changed, or the copy changes. I can still talk to the experts. I can navigate through the use cases, or the case studies, sorry. So the carousel works really well. Now, the interesting thing is, obviously, I kind of tricked you into getting to this point, is we've used a brand new message type, sorry. But if you remember correctly, if we navigate, oh, that's not where I wanted to go. If we navigate through to message types, and we have a quick look at the carousel message, and drill down to Telegram, it's unfortunately incompatible. And so what we've gone through here is we've created this new, brand new, beautiful interaction, but we've forgotten, or I did it on purpose, but we've forgotten to actually check that this is compatible with our new channel that we set up, and unfortunately it's not. And so obviously the thing you'd have to do here is slightly tweak it, not use this message type at all, and we can actually just test it. So if I just send this, we'll see what it says. So as you can see, it does exactly what it says here. So it says only the carousels images will be sent, and that's exactly what happened. So I don't have any information. Sure, I have really beautiful pictures here. I can't even leave it. Okay, I have beautiful pictures here, but that's not helpful at all. And so what I would have to do as the owner of this chatbot is I would have to plan this quite nicely ahead of time and just decide, okay, I can't use carousels, but I could use general messages, for instance. Those are compatible, and so I could just pick out of all of the case studies that we have, I could just pick one of them and just say, I'm gonna just send this one, because if I just send one, I can actually this is actually going to be compatible. So this is interesting as well. Okay, so we've gone through a lot. We've gone through setting up the full page bot. We've gone through setting up Telegram bot. We've gone through looking at compatibility between message types. We've gone through adding more FAQs using different message types. And so the bot is starting to get into a pretty good state now. I think we have a pretty decent experience here. A few more things that I'd like to do, and I'll probably set up next week, is I want to set up email notifications when a lead has gone through this entire process of submitting their information, and I want to be able to send that email to my sales team so that they can pick up the phone and contact them and contact the lead and just kind of obviously make the sale. So I want to do that. I want to go through training as well. Probably going to combine these two next week, just because training is going to be super important, particularly at the start of the bot. As you can see, I just sent some kind of random, semi-relevant words, but it didn't really quite pick it up. And so if we go into the training section here, you'll see that there's quite a lot that has been sent to the bot and is not really accurate. And so we can go through that and remap, and you can see how quickly the experience improves. Something that everyone needs to do at the start of setting up a bot. And then, so we're going to do that next week. And then week after, I think I'm going to try and find a CRM to integrate with, just because that's always kind of fun to do. It requires a bit more work for me to actually find a CRM that I would like to integrate with, because I can't just use, let's say, HubSpot, because I would have to get a full-on brand new HubSpot account, which can't really do for the purpose of a drop-in. But I'll see what I can do, and we can work through an actual integration together as well. All right. Thank you all for attending. This was fun. I'll speak to you all next week.